Peace. I just wanted to take a moment to just build about who the 85%. And there's just a couple points I wanted to make. The first point is, I often hear a lot of guys on earth building about how much our nation has grown and how we're in other states now and how we're in other countries. And, that's definitely peace, but a lot of us don't consider the reality that the 85% has grown too. They're also in other states and other countries, and they've grown 80% more than we have because we're the 5%. The same thing with the 10%. They have at least doubled in sheer numbers in comparison to us. So yeah, we've grown, we've expanded, we're in other places, but the 85% has grown too. The 10% has grown too. And when you look at the nation of guys on earth, or the AKA the 5% nation, we're not a missionary group. We're not out here trying to convert 85%ers into becoming 5%. And we're not out here trying to convince 10%ers that that's not the right way to do things as far as taking advantage of people, and why don't you come into the fold of the 5%? No. When you look at the born degree in the 1 to 10s, it tells you lost, found nation. So those of us who consider ourselves gods and earths, who have found themselves in this nation once, right now, that's because we was once lost at one point. Meaning, we never were the 85%, we never were the 10%, we just grew up amongst them. But there were things that they did that never quite suited us. There were perspectives on life that we never really agreed with, but we never had the tools to actually articulate ourselves in a proper way. And there were things that we just weren't feeling. We were always a black sheep of the family, of our friends, and of our associates. So I say that to say, we're not out here converting 85% into the 5%. We're not out here convincing the 10% to be the 5%. As civilized people, you look at the knowledge build degree in the 1 to 40s, it says the duty of a civilized person is to teach he who is savage civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of himself, the science of everything in life, love, peace, and happiness. Nowhere in that degree does it say the duty of a civilized person is to give somebody 120 lessons. It doesn't say that. It says to teach civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of himself, the science of everything in life, love, peace, and happiness. And those are different key components of civilization. Now, when you meet somebody who is of the 85% and who are of the 10%, like I said, you're not converting or convincing anybody. What you're doing is just sharing a worldview with them through the way in which you live that will help them elevate their condition to a certain way where they will be more civilized if they choose to be. So with this person, you may just be teaching them how to love and how to be more loving. That's part of the duty of a civilized person. With somebody else, you may be teaching them about diet. You may be teaching this other person about the science of everything in life, how to be more open-minded and to explore other different perspectives in life because they're very closed-minded, and you can see how that's hindering their growth and development. But all of these things you learn based upon what a person brings to the table. You just don't go out there trying to tell somebody what it is they need to know and what they need to learn. You need to develop a relationship with people so you can see how you can help add on to their life if they want to add that on. So, when you look at some of our actual facts, the build degree says that sound travels 1,120 feet per second. The born degree says light travels 186,000 miles per second. So, light is something that you can see. Sound is obviously something that you can hear. What you can see travels a lot faster than what you actually hear. So, in living this lifestyle, living this type of culture, what you do is has a lot more impact and is a lot more significant to somebody than what you got to say out of your mouth. So, going back to what I said about the duty of a civilized person, the duty of a civilized person is more oftentimes a nonverbal expression, meaning people check out what you're doing and how you're living and how you're handling situations in a nonverbal way before they even can see what actual civilization is. It's not necessarily what's coming out of your mouth. So when you see people talking about they building, they teaching, we're not talking about running our mouths. That is the most densest form of teaching civilization. The more higher forms of teaching civilization is doing things constructively in your family, the way that you're living, the way that you're treating people and what you're doing in your community, how you're identifying with and treating your own people, as well as people in general. That is the true meaning of civilization and our duty and responsibility. So I say all of that to say, when we talk about laws found, or we talk about in the knowledge understanding degree in the 1-40s where it says many of them recover from it, those of us who are in this nation, we have recovered from a condition that we were put in based upon our people being subjugated in this country, as well as other countries where you find our people in the diaspora based upon the colonization that we went through. We were the few that recover from it, but not everybody is going to recover from that condition. And it's not our job to go out there trying to convert people or trying to convince people into what they have never inherently identified with in the first place. If you have people and they talk about, yeah, I used to be God, I used to be the earth, I used to be a queen, used to be. If you're not now, you never were. So, save your time, save your frustrations, save your energy, save your finances from going out here trying to give people something that they have never shown themselves worthy of coming to get. And that's something that's very, very important for us to understand, because a lot of us, even when you look at martial arts movies, you never see no Grand Master walking around a township trying to give somebody their secret, special, sacred technique and trying to find what students want to learn. No, you don't see that. You see them living their life, staying sharp with their own technique, and those who seek them out will find them. Like they say, seek the truth and you shall find. But a lot of us don't give people the opportunity to identify what not only their intentions are, but if they're qualified, if they have the proper attitude and the proper aptitude in order to even learn this culture. So, relax. Just live your culture. Do what's necessary in your family, do what's necessary in your community, and those who are of the 5% who inherently knew this, but never had the ways of articulating this culture, or never had the way of expressing it based upon how they've always innately felt, will seek you out and find you. And when they do, then you will recognize that they were the lost that's now found. So, like I said, yeah, our nation is growing and expanding, and that's not because we're just converting people or convincing people that this is the truth. No, it's growing and expanding because people have taken the initiative to find you. And as long as you're living this out, as long as you're shining your light, people will take the initiative to come and try to find out what that light is about through you being able to share it through your sound. So with all that being said, I want to say peace, and I hope that was helpful to a lot of us that's out here doing this work and not wasting our time. Peace.